Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great start to their week. Now, after the first 2 weeks of this month, the start of this week was very, very refreshing. And I think it had a lot to do with me taking a time out this weekend. And, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but it kind of made sense to me when I was writing it. Courage is taking a time out when needed. It really takes courage to admit to yourself that, hey, maybe I need to take a break. And it takes courage to do that. Accepting responsibility. It takes a lot of courage to accept responsibility for whatever happens with your trading. And that's one of the big things that we have to do coming in to this industry is we have to accept the responsibility no matter what happens. Whether our platform messes up, or our internet goes out, or our computer goes down. Whatever the case is, if the market is slow, there's no volatility. These are all, reasons that we may be failing, but it's our responsibility to make it happen for us, to either sit on our hands until the market comes back to us, or adapt what we do so that it works in the current market. But it takes courage to accept that. Responsibility. It takes courage to pick yourself back up, and work like you've never worked before. It takes courage. Once you get slapped in the face by the market and you lose your account a couple times, it takes a lot of courage to come back. It's not that you're stupid. Now, if you come back and you do the same thing and listen to the same people tell you the same thing over and over again, and you do it and it doesn't work, you may be on the verge of insanity there. But you got to make sure that you're actually listening to what they tell you and that you're actually doing it. And a lot of people teach stuff that just doesn't work. They don't do it themselves. They just teach it. Doesn't work. They don't care. They get paid. Who cares? But, one of the things, and somebody emailed me Thursday and it really resonated with me, and it made me think. And they said, you are the only one that really has the courage to put yourself out there the way you do. Your struggles, everybody sees it. You can't hide it. And that's true. There's a lot of people that, may claim to trade live, but they're selective. You only get to see what they want you to see. But I'm putting myself out there, and it takes courage to be able to do that. And for me to do that. But I'm doing it because I want you guys to see the truth. I want you guys to see what the real struggle is. And if you can't handle it, and you don't understand that, hey, there are going to be weeks where we struggle, but everything comes around in a cycle. If you can't handle that, then you don't need to be a trader. You need to quit now and save your money. Because I'm telling you, you're going to have to accept certain things that you may not want to accept, and that people may not be teaching you that you have to accept, but you're going to have to accept these things. But it really takes courage to admit when, hey, you need a timeout, and you need to get things back together. So this weekend for me was just a really good time out. I enjoyed spending it with my family. We had a great time doing a lot of stuff and no trading. So came back today, feeling refreshed. So I'm really happy about that. So, and I brought this up because, I still got that offer going for, you guys that want to follow me on my roadmap to success. Give me 6 months. Give me an honest 6 months. And I can get you where you want to go. Or you'll be well on your way there. But I need an honest 6 months. I need you not trying to go ahead and not try to outdo the teacher when you're not ready yet. That's what kills a lot of people. Give me an honest 6 months. But the reason what I brought this up is I had to have somebody assess the value or place a value on the courses that I have. And it was for tax purposes. And, I'm telling you that because the prices that I'm going to attach to the class is going to go up substantially. But, you get the classes for free. It's not that I'm selling them. I just have to have a value on it for business reasons. But the value on all the classes, all the courses that I offer, the real world value is over $10,000. And this is a guy who assessed based on other people in the industry, what they're selling it for. Everything is over $10,000. It blew my mind away that it could be assessed for that amount of money. But you're getting that for free. I'm not selling you any classes. You get it for free. You just subscribe to the community. Every class I get is free. This year, we are redoing every class. I'm a little behind on the virtual classroom because I've got some sound issues in there. I had to order some cubicle stuff to put in there, so I can make like a little room where the sound won't be so bad. The echoes, it was just really, really bad because it's a huge building. It's like a 20 by 40 building. And, the sound just echoes in there. So, but we're going to be doing, when we finish up the roadmap, we're going to be doing the swing trading class over, all updates. We're going to do the day trading class over, all updates. The trading psychology class, all of that stuff's going to be redone this year. You get it all for free. So, that's why I say you want to be a part of this 10%ers club. The roadmap I have will get you there. You just got to give me an honest 6 months, and I will get you on the right path. If you don't get there, you will have the right path. Some people travel slower than others. That's a known fact. But you will be on the right road, and you won't be making any wrong turns, which is going to be key. So we had a couple of stocks on watch today. Every stock we had on watch pretty much was solid. And the reason why I'm sharing this WP and FIS, WP was bought out by FIS. And normally when you have buyout stocks, they typically run to a certain price and they just trade sideways all day. This one was showing some really good volatility pre-market. And so I had to put it on watch because it was showing me that it had the range and it had the opportunity. Here's a 52-week high. We were trading over it. So this put it in play. And, I didn't take it because I can only trade one stock at a time, but I didn't trade this. But you can see a beautiful opening range breakdown. From 110 all the way down to around 107. Good, about 3 points on this. You had the potential to do. You had a bounce, and then you had a chance to get back in for a trend continuation to make a little bit more. Just what we teach. Just how I teach you to trade these things. And you can look at FIS. Look at this one, made a huge run up and a pullback and a great pre-market trade here. Entry off of this. But off of the 52-week high, because this one was breaking out the 52-week high too. And then here's the open. Right here, the opening candle. We set in a 5-minute low here, and bam, nice move down from, let's see, 110 down to 107. I mean, awesome trades, both of them. You know, and I think some members caught, you know, trades in both of these. But the stock I traded, which is a little bit out of character for me, was DERM, because I felt this had the best potential. That this had the biggest potential. Because those other two were on earnings, I felt the moves would be, you know, somewhat limited. This one turned out to be more limited, but you know, I traded it with some size. It was a, you know, a cheaper stock, $13, $14 stock, and I traded, you know, 500 shares on it, and was able to catch the opening range breakout here. I took some profit here. I had another target at 15, and of course, it hit just below 15. It didn't hit the target. Ended up coming back. I didn't let it come all the way back. I stopped out with a profit stop. And as this came back, and when it broke back over the 5-minute opening range high, I bought it again. But what this was, it was a bounce. This was a trend continuation trade. But because the 5-minute opening range was here, I needed to wait till we cleared it. Because too many times, just like you see over here, it can't push back through this, and then it ends up failing and selling off. So I had to wait. We held over it, was able to take profit and add it back. Again, you know, one of those, my patented, oops, I was trying to put in a profit target, but instead of a sell, I hit buy because I normally go short. Add it back, and then, you know, ended up just taking it off here because we just weren't going anywhere else with it. And so I was patient. I waited, and I told you guys in chat, I've gone over this 100 times. The volatility leaves the market around 10:30 every day, between 10 and 10:30. Every now and then, you may find something that moves, that gets, that's still moving, that still has volume in it. You just have to assess that on a trade-by-trade basis. But for me, you know, when you see the volatility slow down, and what I mean is, you're watching these candles get smaller and smaller. And then they start trading with, you know, small bodies and bigger wicks. And the volatility's gone. And it doesn't usually pick up until we get back from lunch. So here, you know, I was a little bit patient. I waited. Here we're still in lunch. I didn't get in this until we got out of lunch. And it really tested my patience a little bit because, you know, I did get in under, this was the 5-minute opening range, but again, low, but I wasn't using this. This always comes into effect. These levels do hold true and hold their support or resistance all throughout the day. But usually there's going to be another moving average or something that you can base your trade off of. So you're not thinking opening range, breakout, breakdown. This is a kind of a trend continuation trade. We're continuing the trend down. So once we got below this 50 and we established ourselves below it, I got in. We went back and retested it. I was kind of kicking myself that I didn't go in and leave myself a play, you know, something to add in case we came back and retested this. But it worked out. You know, we held below the 50, even though we dipped up a couple times, and it kind of broke my confidence that we may get this to work. And came down, hit my first target here, and, you know, I was just piecing it out. And then held on. This one, I just had 25 shares on in case we got a late day sell-off, which these typically do. And another reason why I traded this is because these biotech stocks, they pump themselves up with these positive test results and all of this stuff. And usually that day you get a run up, but then the bottom falls out and it comes right back to where it was before that announcement. And that's kind of what I was looking for here. But we didn't get it. You know, it didn't come all the way back to $9. Just kind of held. So, you know, you had some big funds, some heavy hitters in here that kind of held us. And you can see it traded on the 100 moving average here, which has been solid over the last several weeks. And it, you know, pretty much when it hit, traded on that, and it just kind of bounced off of it. Then took me out. So really nice trade on this. Picked up $584. No, across these trades. You know, so not a bad start. This is textbook what I like to do. And just because these didn't follow through, we still book profit. It's the name of the game. You book it, you add it up at the end of the day, you have a pretty decent number. So the next trade we did was a earnings. You know, this one, I hate that I wasn't here to go over it like we went over it Thursday, like go over the research and stuff. This is a unique one because this stock did not, this stock is a recent IPO. And let me see if I can get the chart. All right, so here's a chart of STNE. And as you can see, this is a recent IPO. It started back here in October. And one of the things that I like to look at is what did this stock do on previous earnings announcements. And here, this one, you know, is back, you know, like less than a month after it opened. You know, the stock opened. So I didn't think we would get any good data from it. I like to look at the previous 3 earnings announcements and look at the numbers and see how it stacked up. And you guys, you know, last Thursday you saw, you know, how I did that and where I found that information. And on this is a recent IPO. So I didn't have that data. There are no shares of this to short. So everybody's got this, you know, you've got a lot of people short thinking that this is going to sell off and come back. You know, even because we recently came up and, you know, eclipsed the, you know, the IPO offering, the initial offering price, we kind of eclipsed it. So you had a lot of people short. But again, we got to look at what is this company going to be looking like 3-6 months from now. This is what we're trading on right now. So even though the stock has been running up, we had a little pullback. We ran up and pulled back toward the end of the day. Exactly what I want to see. It baiting these unwary guys in who want to short this, thinking that it's going to tank on earnings. But I feel that it's going to go. Based on the intraday chart from today, it looked like it was a go. So, you know, I just hate you know, some guys were gone already when I blasted it out and said, hey, this STNE looks really good. The only thing that I have reservations about, I couldn't get enough data on it. But it looks really good. The daily chart, the intraday chart looked really good. And it moved slow enough to where you guys had a chance to catch. If you missed it, if you were waiting, you guys had a chance to come in and catch it before it took off. Because we didn't really, even through all of this, the spread didn't get really bad. So when I said that this thing is getting ready to move, you had really ample opportunity to get in because the spread was tight. you were sitting on all this support. There was no reason why you couldn't have caught this. And then this was a nice slow mover. Really nice slow mover. And you know, I had to I can't sit here till 6, 7 o'clock waiting on this. Well, SureTrader shuts down at 6. I wanted 40. That was my final target. And it did hit that. But it hit that, you know, after 6 o'clock. And I'm not sitting here all day waiting on this thing. If it didn't break and make the new high over this, then I took it off and went on about my business. But this was a textbook, you know, textbook earnings trade, just like what we talked about last week. But, you know, once school is over, we'll be doing this every evening. We'll be looking at this every evening. And I can walk you through it just like I did last week. So I'm trying to do the same thing with the morning trades. I'm trying to give more instruction. I try not to talk so much because I don't want to agitate some of you guys who are trying to focus. But there's a lot that say, hey, I need you to be telling me and explaining to me what's happening. So I'm going to be doing that to help these guys out. So hopefully it won't disturb you too much. But like I said, the chat room is an extension of the classroom. I think this is where the most important learning takes place. And it shouldn't be about you just watching me trade, just to be watching me. You should be actively engaged. And I want you guys to be actively engaged in understanding what we're doing. So great day today. 1046.65. Got $500 out of both names I traded. I don't mind trading 17 tickets when I bring this kind of money. That means I had a lot of opportunities that were solid. Now, if I had 17 tickets and only traded $140, then I overtraded. That means I traded when I shouldn't have. And I was chasing. 17 tickets and you know, only and having $1,046, that's it really acceptable to me. And guys, one more thing. I know I did the video on SureTrader last week. That was not a dig on SureTrader. That was letting you know that you can trade with SureTrader. Okay? You can trade with SureTrader. You just have to know how to manage them, how to use them. If you don't know how to use them, you don't understand how to use them, it's going to be very tough for you to make money. You know, so I'm pointing out the things in the traps you got to stay away from. It's a necessary evil for some of us, but you can't use SureTrader as an excuse as to why you can't make it. You can't use CME Group as an excuse or Trade Zero or whatever. It doesn't matter who you're with. If you learn how to use them the right way, things are going to work out for you. So, I say the best for last. You want to see what a bad week looks like? This is what we got. Last week was the first red week I've had since the summer months. I think I had a red week back then. 247.83 in the red. But one thing that I want to point out, my max loss per day is $300. The only reason that I am not in a hole right now is because I have managed my risk. Okay, the only reason I'm not in a hole because I took the time and I managed my risk and I don't have any crazy losses here. Now, yeah, if I got caught in a bad earnings trade, that would be a crazy loss, but that's planned. You know, when I take a loss like that, that's planned. It's not out of whack. and we'll identify that. But when I don't trade earnings, and my days should not exceed $300. And this is what we did this summer. This is why we were able to survive those bad months this summer and come out on top, is because we manage our risk. We don't go chasing. If it's not working, it's not working. We come back the next day. If the market's not giving us anything, don't go chasing. Just because somebody's posting stuff that I'm trading this and I'm trading that, just because they're posting that, doesn't mean that they're trading it. Doesn't mean that they're trading it live. And you don't even know what strategy they're using. So you can't follow that. You got to keep focused on what you do. And if you stay consistent, things are going to come out. So today I could type in my 1064 and I've doubled what I made this month in one day. Just being patient, waiting for the market to come to me. Now let's say these next 2 weeks are going to be killer, and I can crank out $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 weeks. This will be a distant memory. And everybody that checked out on these 2 weeks are going to be saying, damn, I wish I had been paying attention and not giving up so easy. I just wasted my money. And yeah, you wasted your money. You got to stay engaged. You got to stay consistent. It's the only way you're going to make it in this industry. All right, so that's going to do it for me today. I have talked enough. So you guys take it easy, and I will see you first thing tomorrow.